Yo, what's going on, buddy? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what we're going to be doing, this is going to be my NFL Week 18 game reaction. This is the final week of the regular season, so I'm going to be kind of going through, giving my reaction to every single one of these games. Try to keep it about 30 seconds to a minute. Some of these games were important because the playoffs were being clinched for a lot of these teams. Some teams were just playing for, I guess you could say, pride. So we're going to get right into this. First thing before I go any further, there is currently wind gusts of 50-mile-per-hour winds outside, so if you hear some wind in the background, that's why. But I'm going to get straight into this. If you're going to enjoy, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. And without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we got the Steelers and the Ravens. This one was, like I said, players were being rested for a lot of teams. Ravens rested literally everybody from Lamar Jackson to most of their running backs, the receivers. Half their defense was resting. The Steelers looked like they were going to choke this game whenever it got to, what was it, 14-7, 7-7, then 14-7. Then I was thinking, okay, well, the Steelers are not looking too good here. But like I said, they got that big, giant touchdown pass to go up 14-7. They got the field goal. And by then, it was like, okay, yeah, the Ravens, they pretty much know they're not trying to win. They don't want anybody else to get hurt, even backups to get hurt right now. The Steelers winning this game helped them clinch the playoffs. The Ravens, they already had the 1 seed, so they had nothing to play for. Steelers win this game, they get the playoff seed. They're going to be the number 7 seed in the playoffs. The one thing that's going to be kind of interesting coming out of this is TJ Watt did go down with a sprained MCL, I believe is what they said. So he's not going to be playing in the first round of the playoffs. They've already confirmed he's not playing. Second round, maybe it's a possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he might be done for the playoffs, to be honest. But with that being said, he's going to be done now for this game. He went out, I think he banged knees with Alex Highsmith. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But it looked like he jumped up to kind of swat the ball away. He turned around, 57, Highsmith, I think, for the Steelers. He was running by, they kind of banged knees. TJ Watt went down to the ground. Overall, it was an okay game. But like I said, Ravens had nothing to play for. Steelers, congratulations, you're in the playoffs now. We got the Texans and the Colts. Texans win 23-19. I'm going to be honest, I don't like the way this game went. Me as a Browns fan, I did not want to play the Texans. I did not want to see them at all. Them being in the playoffs, yes, I would like to see them go up against Kansas City Chiefs because I thought that would have been a very interesting matchup. But with that being said, Colts, they had some fight. Gardner Minshew, he just didn't show up in this game. They ran the ball like hell. Jonathan Taylor, 30 carries for 188 yards. He did everything he could to help to get this team down there. The game just came down to one play. Not really one play, but it had the possibility to help them give the chance to go win the game. 4th and 2, think it was Hines or whoever the running back was. Just threw it out of the backfield. It was 90% on Gardner Minshew making a bad throw, but it hit him in the hands. He should have caught it. If he would have caught that ball, he would have got the first down. They could have kept on moving the ball. They had like 50 seconds to go to try and go get a touchdown. But with that being said, CJ Stroud, he played an amazing game. First play of the game. Downfield, Nico Collins caught that first touchdown. Devin Singletary, he did pretty good on the run game. But with CJ Stroud, the way he's playing right now, I'm going to be honest. As a Browns fan, I am scared. I am scared to death to play CJ Stroud in the playoffs. Next up, we got the Browns and the Bengals, 14-31. I'm a Browns fan, so if you want a full, complete breakdown, kind of going in depth with this game, talking about all the little things about this game, I'm a Browns fan, so if you want to click that annotation up on the top right part of the screen right now, the video will be up there for the video that I made. But kind of a quick summary, Browns, they played absolutely nobody. We were locked into the 5 seed. We couldn't go up or down. We couldn't win the division. We couldn't go any further down on the wild card. We were the 5 seed, so we rested basically everybody. And with that being said, the Bengals, they're playing for pride. They wanted to play a lot of their people. Jake Browning was there. Joe Mixon was there. Joe Mixon had some incentives, so he was kind of playing for the first half. After that, he went out. Defense, a lot of the guys played. It was mainly just they were playing for pride, and they went out there and just kicked their asses. They went up 31-0 in the first half, and at the end of the third quarter. Basically, with our starters being out, we did not look good. We started Jeff Driscoll. He did not look good at all in that first half when we were going with the starters. When the Bengals actually sat their starters and went to their backups, we got a little bit of pace going. Jeff Driscoll got a connection going with David Bell. Got the 2 touchdowns. We went up 14-31. And it was kind of meant to be said. I said it in my game reaction video of the Browns versus Bengals game. I said this in there, but the Bengals fans were talking all their shit, talking about how, look at this, we're beating you guys 31-0. You guys are nothing compared to us. We should be in the playoffs, not you. But yet, whenever we were coming back and going up 14-31, it was, wow, you're getting excited for playing us when we have our backups in. We had our backups in all game. Just a little nugget I want to say, but overall with the entire game, like I said, starters rested for the Browns. It was just an interesting game, to be honest. We got the Cowboys and the Commanders. I thought the Commanders had a chance to maybe upset the Cowboys in this game when they went up 10-7. They should have had a touchdown. Should have been 14-7. Curtis Samuel, what are you doing? You got to drag that fucking foot. You got to get the touchdown there. But when that didn't happen, it felt like all the momentum kind of was going into Washington, but then it just went down, and Cowboys just put their foot on the neck. It was just a straight up ass kicking in this game. With that being said, Washington, they fired their head coach, Ron Rivera. He's now done for the year. He's out of there. They're going to be looking for a new head coach, looking for a new GM as well, because Ron Rivera was the head coach and general manager at the same time. Cowboys, they clinched their playoff spot. They're going to be the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Commanders, they're obviously out of the playoffs. They're going to be looking for a new head coach, and it's going to be an interesting offseason for them. With the Cowboys, 2 seed. You play, I believe, the Packers in the first round. Could you win that game, and then could you go on and play either the Lions or the Rams? It'll be a good, interesting playoffs to see out of the Cowboys. We had the Vikings and the Lions. This was a fun game, I'm not gonna lie. Jared Goff played good. The running game was kind of there with the Vikings. Here's the thing I don't get. Nick Mullins, you went out there and you were like, I think 22 of 28 with like 296 yards and the 2 touchdowns in the first half, kind of third quarter. After that, you just turn into fucking Jameis Winston and Nate Peterman within the same time. It's like first half Nick Mullins, excellent. Second half Nick Mullins, dog shit. Justin Jefferson from the Vikings, he did his thing. 12 catches, 192 yards, 1 touchdown. It's a sad thing fantasy football is going on right now, because if you had him in fantasy football for that game, you'd be on cloud fucking 9. Amon St. Brown went off for the Lions, 7 catches, 144 yards. He did really good. The big thing out of this game that I didn't really understand was the Lions. They didn't need to play their starters. They clinched the 3 seed no matter what. They could have went up to the 2 seed, but they would have needed the Cowboys and the Eagles to both lose. I get the Eagles lost to the Giants. We didn't really expect that to happen. But the Cowboys, they had to lose to the Commanders as well. It was a possibility, so I get kind of why the Lions played their starters. But when they should have seen the score being like 30-something to 10 or 30-something to 10 against the Commanders, when the Cowboys were beating the shit out of them. And somebody should have told Dan Campbell, hey, it's done. We're not getting the 2 seed. And he could have pulled his starters. But instead, he did not. Starters played. And it did not look good. And what I'm talking about is Sam Laporta going down. That one just, it fucking hurts. Now they're going to be going into the playoffs without Sam Laporta. They're going to have to be trying to do these things without their leading receiving tight end. And probably the next, like, who else? George Kittle, Travis Kelce, some of these big time tight ends we've seen over the past couple years. Sam Laporta is developing into that. But to kind of wrap it up for this game, Vikings eliminated from the playoffs, obviously, and Lions, they're going to be the 3 seed. They're playing the Rams the first round. We got a Matthew Stafford Lions Bowl. Could be interesting. We'll get the Jags and the Titans. Let's just go to the very end of the game. What the hell was that throw-catch combination between Lawrence and Ridley? You had him wide open. Just catch the fucking football. I get Trevor Lawrence has had the shoulder injury. He's struggling to make some throws. But you had him, bro. You had him wide open. Calvin Ridley, just catch the fucking football. If he catches that football, he's going to the house. He's getting in the end zone. You go for 2. You had a chance to tie this game up. You also had the ball 4th and goal at like the 1.5, 2 yard line earlier on with like, I think 4 minutes to go. You could have had the score there, but instead you tried to reach out and dive for the end zone like you were Space Jam Michael Jordan. You didn't get it. It just seemed like the Jaguars had so many chances to win this game, to win the division, and instead of winning the division and not even making the wild card, now you're just bounced out of the playoffs completely. And it's a weird thing because the Jaguars, you just got eliminated from the playoffs. You're done for. You're going home. The Titans, you won the game, but instead the Titans just fired their head coach, Mike Vrabel. That one I don't get. I don't see why they fired him. I think I said once in some of my reactions of the head coaches being fired this year, I said he might get fired. But now looking at it, it's like, why would you fire him? He's the only thing you had kind of keeping the team together. Derrick Henry had a career game. He's a free agent. He's going to be leaving now after this offseason. I'm just curious to see what this Titans team is going to look like next season. Who's going to be their head coach? Where's Derrick Henry going to go? And who's going to be the quarterback? And when it comes to the Jaguars, how are you going to bounce back after the season? Trevor Lawrence, he's got that shoulder injury. Is he going to have to get like some sort of surgery to fix it faster? Is it going to just be something to where he's just got to rest and just see what happens? It's going to be interesting to see how both teams bounce back this season or next season. We have the Jets and the Patriots, 17-3. Bill Belichick's last game in Foxborough. I'm sorry to say, Patriots fans, but I think this might be it for Bill Belichick in New England. There's been the rumors talking about Bill Belichick leaving. There's been the talks about could he just give up general manager responsibilities. I just don't know if I see it. I feel like if Bill Belichick wanted to start over and go somewhere else where he can have the control, it's looking like the Chargers may have that kind of possibility. Falcons also kind of look like they're kind of opening up to possibly wanting Bill Belichick and give him the full reins of coach and general manager responsibilities. Maybe the Commanders, maybe they open the doors and say, Bill Belichick, come on in. The weird thing with him is if you look at what they did this season, 3 points has been a theme with their offense almost in every single game. Their defense is going to play well, 17 points to the Jets. I mean, they played good. It's just their offense has nothing to it. 12 of 30 for 88 yards and 2 interceptions from Bailey Zappi. It's just not going to cut it, bro. Like, they have somewhat of a run game, and like I said, their defense is there. But when you allow Breece Hall 37 carries for 178 yards and a touchdown, this game almost reminded me of back whenever they played the Bills. I think it was 2 years ago, whenever they played them in that very intense windstorm with like 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and we all knew it was going to be just nonstop running the ball. That's what this game reminded me of. It was a snowstorm, blizzard, you couldn't see the field, a lot of running the ball. And for some reason, they threw the ball 30 times. What the fuck? Very weird game to watch, but the Jets, they did break their streak. They finally beat Bill Belichick. I think it's like been like 6 years, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, since they beat Bill Belichick in Arrowhead or in Foxborough. So good job on them. But to kind of wrap up this game, they're both eliminated from the playoff, but it's going to be interesting to see kind of how both teams bounce back. Are the Jets gonna be okay with Aaron Rodgers next year? Are the Patriots gonna fire Bill Belichick? I'm interested to see how that goes. We got the Falcons and the Saints. The Saints just put an absolute butt kicking on the Falcons. Falcons fired their head coach Arthur Smith. Not surprising whatsoever by that. When it comes to the Saints, they had a chance with the playoffs. So did the Falcons. If the Buccaneers lost to the Panthers, I think is how it went. The winner of this game won the division. So, and the Saints with the win, they would have a chance to go at least get a wild card spot. Falcons had to win and Buccaneers had to lose in order for the Falcons to get in the playoffs. I think the Falcons had no chance at the wild card spot. The Saints had a chance at the wild card spot if the Bears beat the Packers. Obviously, we'll get into that in a minute. Bears did not beat the Packers. So Saints, they were pretty much out here just putting on an ass cooking, just hoping they could possibly get the playoff spot. The end of the game, that's where we want to talk about it. At the very end of the game, you can kind of see right here, they had to pull their starters. They was up 41-17. They pulled their starters. Falcons, they were trying to get a late score. They ended up turning the ball over. The Saints had the ball at like the 2-yard line. They went to victory formation. They were going to take the knee and the game. Instead, they put Jameis Winston out there, backups obviously, to just go out there, take the knee, let's get out of here. Jameis Winston decided to overrule the coach's call, decided to say no knees. Jamal Williams, come here, we're going to get you a touchdown because he hasn't scored a touchdown, I guess, all season long. They demand that we're going to run the ball, and he just runs it in the end zone. Arthur Smith has a reason to be pissed because your defense is out here in a formation of they're just taking a knee, who cares, we don't need to stop them. And you just go out here, say, instead of kneeing, hand it to your running back, dive over the goal line, put on an unnecessary score. It wasn't necessary. And people are going to say, well, why don't you try to stop them? It'd be no different than if you were fucking told, hey, they're not going to be going out. It'd be no different like in basketball. If you're told, hey, it's going to be a free throw, and somebody decides to jump out of nowhere and just swat your ball out of nowhere. Same thing kind of applies here. You're expecting a quarterback kneel. You're not going out there to stop them or anything. And you just fucking have them go bull rush you. You can kind of leave your opinion on what you think about the whole thing there in the comment section if you want to talk about it. But like I said, I find that to be a little bit of bullshit. There has been talk about Jameis Winston needs to be cut. I don't think that really needs to happen. He doesn't really need to be cut because I think that he's only on a 1-year contract, so he's going to be gone after the season anyways. If he comes back, that'll be interesting to see. But I'm also curious if the Saints head coach is going to be staying around. They went 9-8. They did a good job this year. They were just very kind of up and down, inconsistent. Derek Carr needs to get better than the offseason. I'll be curious to see kind of how they bounce back next season. And I'm going to be curious how the Falcons do next season when it comes to who their head coach is going to be. Is it going to be somebody like a Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions? Is it going to be maybe the Bill Belichick, like I said? Could he come down and coach the Falcons? If they can get a good head coach in there, an offensive mind kind of guy, like I said, Ben Johnson, maybe they could do something there because they're going to have Bijan Robinson at the running back, Drake London at receiver, Kyle Pitts at tight end. Maybe they go trade for Justin Fields, get a quarterback in there. They could be a dangerous team. Look at the Buccaneers and the Panthers. 9-0. Nothing really to say here other than Baker played okay. Bryce Young didn't do anything in this game. The defenses were just hunting in this game. Baker got hurt, I think, in the second quarter. So after that, he couldn't really do anything else. He was just kind of handing the ball off and just trying to make easy throws. No touchdowns, obviously, just a bunch of field goals. Bucks, you clinched the division. Good job. Panthers, 2-15. Worst team in the league, and you don't even get your number 1 overall pick. We got the Bears and the Packers, 9-17. Justin Fields, he didn't get any opportunity to really show himself in this game. Like, he went 11 of 16, 148 yards. They tried to run the ball some in this game. There was some wind going on in this game. There was some, I think, a little bit of rain, snow kind of coming down. So they weren't really able to really air the ball out. Jordan Love, he just kind of aired the ball out without a care in the world, and he did great. I'm not gonna lie. Jordan Love is looking like the next era of this Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers kind of guy. He's going to be there for a long time. If he keeps playing like this, and he can play like this against the Dallas Cowboys in the wildcard round, I'm not saying the Packers are going to win, but I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a close game, that game. The Bears go 7-10. They're told, or what we're hearing is that they're going to be telling their head coach he is going to be the head coach going forward next season. I'm curious, are they going to be keeping head coach and Justin Fields? Like I said, if they don't keep Justin Fields, trade his ass over to Atlanta and get them rolling over there. If he's going to be keeping Justin Fields, they need to get some pieces around him with that number 1 overall pick. Do they just go ahead and use that pick and go get Marvin Harrison Jr. at the receiver position? Do they trade back with Caleb or with Washington? I'd say if they could trade back with Washington, go back to number 2. Washington goes up there with the number 1 overall pick, takes Caleb Williams because they could help them in their franchise. They need a quarterback, and then you could take Marvin Harrison Jr. at the number 2 spot. You also get an overhaul of maybe some first-round picks and late-round picks. It'd be a great day for the Bears. We got the Broncos and the Raiders. This game didn't really matter too much. I guess if you want me to break it down, Raiders played good. Defense was there. There was a lot of offense coming out of this game. I mean, it was an interesting game. Like, I watched it on Red Zone. I saw some highlights of it. It was a fun game to watch. When it comes to the Broncos, they benched Russell Wilson. What's going to happen with Russell Wilson next season? Is he going to be coming back? There's some reports of maybe he could come back. Other people have been saying, nope, he's done. He's going to get traded in the offseason. With the Raiders, they need to get a good head coach. Antonio Pierce, I feel like he could be the guy. If he's not the guy, they better go out there and hire a stud guy to be the head coach. not some bum like they've been doing in Gruden and now McDaniels. They need to get a guy. They had their chance to possibly bring back Rich Pistachio, whatever his name was, last time whenever he led them to the playoff. And now they got Antonio Pierce. Bring back Antonio Pierce. Have a guy in that locker room that just loves his players and the players love him. Get a good offensive-minded coach to be an offensive coordinator. And then from there, just get rolling. It seems like Aiden O'Connell is a decent quarterback. He's not a guy that you're going to want to win a Super Bowl with. But for now, maybe you can try to roll with him. We got the Eagles and the Giants 10-27. This was just an ugly game. The Giants went out there and kicked the shit out of the Eagles. It was over before you knew it. The Giants were just beating up on the Eagles. They were up 24-0 at halftime. Eagles eventually pulled their starters because they realized that they needed the Cowboys to lose and the Eagles need to win the division. When they saw the Cowboys go up like 20, 30 points, they were like, okay, it's done. Pull the starters. And on top of it, it's not like they just pulled the starters willingly. Jalen Hurts, I think, got a dislocated middle finger because his finger was looking like left, right. At one point, it was nasty. Just A.J. Brown, the receiver, got hurt at one point. Devontae Smith, I think, also got hurt. There was injuries on injuries in this game. Usually with this big game, this kind of a big game, you would think the Eagles, they would want to go out there and impose their will. You have a bad team in the Giants. Let's go out there and kick their asses. Things did not go that way. Looking at the Eagles going into the playoffs, they're going to need to really turn things around. If they don't beat the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football in that wildcard round game, we're going to be really talking about this Eagles team saying, should there be changes going on at the head coaching position? And I realize that's a dumb thing to say, but I've heard people on ESPN talking about it and saying there's been talk from Eagles fans saying they want to fire Nick Sirianni. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm saying the discussions of why are reasonable, I would say. And when it comes to the Giants, the thing I want to talk about them is, are they going to be bringing back Daniel Jones next season? And then who's going to be the defensive coordinator? Because their defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, he fucking went off on Brian Dable. Apparently he cussed him out in his office. He screamed at him, yelled at him. And he's already on a flight down to Florida. Like, Wink wasted no time getting the fuck out of New York and just saying, I'm done with this fucking franchise. I don't want to talk to any of you. Apparently, he hasn't put his official resignation papers in to say, yep, I'm quitting. So, I'm curious to see how that's going to go. Maybe he just needs to blow off some steam, go somewhere else, take his vacation time. But like I said with the Eagles, they really need to fix their shit. Next up, we got the Seahawks and the Cardinals. This was actually a fun finish. I know this game didn't really matter too much to a lot of people. Cardinals eliminated from the playoffs. Seahawks were trying to get a playoff spot. If the Packers would have lost their game, the Seahawks, and they won, Seahawks could have clinched the playoff spot, so it would have been an interesting kind of game. It was an interesting game to watch, and also I think the Saints also needed the Seahawks to lose to get in the playoff spot if the Packers were to also lose. Cardinals had a chance to win this game, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if you look at the timestamp down here, they were up 13-20. The Seahawks got the ball back late. They went, they scored, they got the 2-point conversion, and at that moment I was thinking, fuck, what are the Cardinals gonna do now? They got down that field. Like, check out the scorecard right here. They got down the field, 38 seconds, they were moving the ball. They got down to the 32, 33 yard line. With 1 second to go, they called timeout. They kicked a 51-yarder. I'm not going to lie. That ball looked like it was going in, but it just shanked to the left. It was left or right, one of the two. But he just shanked it. If this boy, Matt Prater, would have kicked that field goal and won that game, Seahawks would have lost. I'm telling you right now, the Saints fans probably would have flown directly to Green Bay and tried to lure up the stadium to where they can help the Bears fan win that game. But going forward for both these teams, Cardinals, they, I think, are going to be going forward with Kyler Murray. They're not going to be trading their quarterback away. They're going to be looking to try to add some offensive line, probably some receivers in the offseason. They're going to have, I think, the 3rd or 4th overall pick in this next coming draft. So I'm interested to see kind of what they do. And then when it comes to Seahawks, 9-8, you just missed the playoffs. Could they possibly go after some offensive linemen because they do need offensive line help? And I think they do need to get some linebackers and defensive linemen in their team. So I'll be curious to see kind of where they go from there. We got the Chiefs and the Chargers. I'm not really going to talk about this game too much. Chiefs rested all their guys. Chargers, they played their secret guys, but they played what they got. 13-12. Chargers had a chance to actually win this game. Chiefs went up 10-0, and I was thinking, wow, the Chiefs are going to really win this game even without the starters. Shocking. But then the Chargers got some field goals. They went field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal. And I mean, hey, if it gets you points, take it. They went up 12-10 with 4 minutes to go. And I was thinking, can the Chargers actually win this game? Because they don't have Patrick Mahomes now. They got Blaine Gabbert playing quarterback. They actually played good. It's just they got down the field. They got that field goal. And the Chargers, they tried to actually move the ball back down the field and get themselves a field goal, but it was just too late at that point. The Chiefs are going to be going to the playoffs at the 3 seed. They're going to be playing the Miami Dolphins. That game's going to be fucking cold, I'm told. It's going to be down in the teens at the temperature point, wind chills in the negatives. Anybody that goes to that game, you are braver than me. And don't get me wrong, I like cold weather. I like playing in the snow when it's freezing cold. I like building igloos, going and playing in the snow. But that kind of cold, fuck that. Looking at both teams' futures, like I said, Chiefs are going to be going to the playoffs, playing the Dolphins. When it comes to the Chargers, they're going to be having to hire a new head coach. Whoever their head coach is, they need to get somebody in there that's going to rebuild this franchise. Obviously, Justin Herbert is their guy. They just paid him a shit ton of money. You can't move on from him. You can't go in to be the head coach and say, I don't want Justin Herbert to be my quarterback. Too late, buddy. He's already got like $180 million guaranteed. you can't move on. You got the Rams and the 49ers. Obviously, 49ers rested almost all their people. Rams were resting some people too, because they couldn't really change their playoff spots. I think the Rams, they could go from like 5 to 6. They were currently at the 5 seed. They went down to the 6 seed with the Packers win and some other things happening. The Rams actually are now going to be the 6 seed. They're playing the Lions. Like I said, the Matthew Stafford Bowl. 49ers, they had the 1 seed clinched. They didn't need to really play anybody in this game. So they were pretty much good, just chilling, resting everybody. Looking at how both teams play with the backups, Carson Wentz played pretty good for the Rams. Puka Nacua played a little bit in this game. He played the first quarter, first half, I think. Tried to get some receiving yards to get the NFL rookie receiving record for him. So he played really good at getting that. Once he got that receiving record, you saw the highlight of Sean McVay just like, get him out, get him out. He got him his 5 to 10 yards, whatever he needed. And he was like, come on, get out. There was actually a spot where he needs touches as well. And the 49ers, they were not letting him get that record. They said, we are not letting you get that record. They were double teaming him, triple teaming him. And Sean McVay just said, fuck it. Screen pass, give you your touch, go get some yards. And once he got it, get out. Get on the sideline. Looking at the way the rest of the team played, like I said, Sam Darnold, he played okay for the 49ers. They got some run game going. Defenses played good. The whole thing just kind of came down to the very end where Carson Wentz got the touchdown, and then they had the 2-point conversion, the 2-2 Atwell for the 2-point play. Sam Darnold had a chance to go down and possibly get a field goal to win the game for them. It didn't really work out for them. Overall, looking at both teams, Rams, they're going to be playing, like I said, the Lions in the first round. Fun game going forward. And the 49ers, they're just going to be kicking back, relaxing, watching some games. They don't got to worry about jack shit for this upcoming weekend. And the very last game, Sunday Night Football, we had the Bills and the Dolphins, 21-14. Josh Allen, I don't understand this man. One drive, he's like fucking Superman. Next drive, he's like your dumb neighbor Joey. Because he can go out there and he can make the most insane moves getting away from defenders and make a crossbody throw over here, Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs down the sideline. He can make crazy wicked plays where it's like, how the fuck did you do that? There's no other person on earth that can make that throw. And then the very next play, he'll go out there and he'll make the most stupidest throw into triple coverage, get picked off, and you're like, why? The first pass touchdown that he had was a 6-yard passing touchdown. It got tipped up in the air. The receiver had to catch in the back of the end zone. Trent Sherfield. They had a punt return touchdown that went 14-14. That was pretty nuts. I thought he was going to get tackled like around midfield, but he went the whole way. And then the last touchdown to Dawson Knox got him in the end zone. There was a few plays from Josh Allen, like I said, where it was very questionable. Crossbody throw all the way in the back of the end zone. It got picked. Some people say, well, it's kind of equivalent to a punt because it was on 4th down. So if you don't get it, they got the ball to like the 40-yard line with that catch being in the end zone. They get the ball to 20-yard line, so better field position, I guess. With all that being said, I mean, they played a good game. They're the number 2 seed. They're going to be playing the Steelers in the first round. I'm pretty sure the Bills can beat the Steelers in this game. Dolphins, like I said, with this win or with this loss, you go from the 2 seed down to the 6 seed. And instead of playing at home against the Steelers in nice, warm Miami, 70 to 80 degree weather, you're going to be going to Kansas City, where it's going to be 6 degrees, possible wind chills of like -6 to -10. That's not where you want to be. But with that all being said, that's going to be my full reaction to NFL Week 18 games. Like I said, playoffs are here. I'm excited to see how all these games go. With the way Week 18 went, like I said, a lot of players were rested, so it wasn't like we were going to get a lot of interesting games. We got some cool games. The games where people were eliminated, both teams eliminated. Maybe you got some more pride games in those games. But the games were like the 49ers, like I said, 49ers, Ravens, Browns, Rams. A lot of those teams, they were just resting their guys, so we weren't really getting exciting matchups there. But I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you want to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much, and you want to go ahead and leave a comment down below what your reaction was to any of these games in the, that went on in Week 18. If you were excited about any of these games, if you were thrilled by your team making the playoffs, let me know in the comments if your team made or missed the playoffs and who your team is, and I'll be more than welcome to talk about it with you guys in the comment section down below. If you're a fan of the content that I do post here and you want to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so, and do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Donald Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.